Good morning and welcome to Mr. Corrupt Self-Serving Lying Thieving Bstards Jack and Ori time. This is the story of the £10 note. Once upon a time there was a £10 note, and Mr. A took that £10 note and put it in the bank, and the bank lent that £10 note to Mr. B. Mr. B took the £10 note and put it back in the bank. The bank took the £10 note and lent it to Mr. C. Mr. C took that £10 note and put it back in the bank, and the bank took that £10 note and gave it to Mr. D. Mr. D, yes, took the £10 note and put it back in the bank, and the bank took that £10 note and lent it to Mr. E. After a while, the bank thought, we're rich! We now are owed by Mr. A, B, C, D and E £50, and there's only one £10 note. Aren't we clever? But then Mr. A, Mr. B, Mr. C, Mr. D and Mr. E all refused to pay the money back and said, we can't, we haven't got it anymore. And the bank said, well, you must pay it back, because if you don't pay it back, we won't be rich anymore. But they couldn't get the money back, so they went to the governments around the world and said, excuse me, but we need bailing out, because if you don't bail us out, we're all going to die. It's all going to be terrible. The world will end. There'll be no money. Don't listen to him with all this PPI Libor stuff. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Taking a £10 note and making it worth £50 and then telling us we got to pay it back. They're having a laugh. But I'm not. I'm serious. Vote for me, Mr. Corrupt Self-Serving Lying Thieving Bstard for Mayor of Bristol, November 2012. And if you do, I'll give you a basic income of 15 grand a year, unconditionally, and I'll pay for it by taxing money every time it's spent. A tax on money transactions. Vote for me. The money's here, look. There it is.